As you might already know, there are certain exercises in straight line and in spiral that require the use of bindings, and in this video we'll be talking about some basic things about bindings and also look at how to use them in straight line and in spiral. There are two basic types of bindings, which is soft bindings or fabric bindings. You can see them on the left. And the other type is leather bindings. You can see them on the right. Many gymnasts prefer the soft or fabric bindings because they're a bit more comfortable, but the disadvantage is that they tear more quickly. So if they're used very intensely, you might have to change them after a few years, whereas leather bindings can last for decades. We should also mention that there's bindings of different lengths. And in particular, there's often special bindings for children, and that is important because if you take typical bindings for adults, they might just be too big for children to use, and the other way around. And by the way, some children's bindings also work in a slightly different way, but we're just gonna show you the standard bindings. Let's look at how to use bindings in straight line. So first you'll have to put them onto the wheel, and that does need a bit of practice. The soft, the padded part of the binding goes on the upper side of the board, right where the foot will be. And then the strap goes through the middle hole at the back side of the board. So there's 3 holes and it goes through the middle one. Then the strap goes through this metal loop thing, and then this is really important, it goes back exactly the way where it came from, so not on the outside of the wheel but through the middle hole. And then you can fix it in the buckle. You probably won't know which hole of the binding to use yet, so you can just fix it anywhere and then adjust it later. Finally, the question is how tight or loose should the binding be? We've discussed this also in our video on basic elements in bindings. Roughly, the binding should be as tight as possible, but the foot should still be able to go all the way in, and the gymnast has to be able to turn the foot to the side and push it down. And maybe one last hint. Don't adjust the binding while the foot is inside the binding. That doesn't work very well. The gymnast should just take the foot out, adjust the binding, try again and see if it fits, and if not, take it out again, adjust it until it fits. Now let's talk about spiral. There is one big difference between using the bindings in straight line and spiral, which is in spiral you don't use the middle hole at the back of the boards, but you use one of the other 2 outer holes. And actually this is not completely trivial because most wheels are not symmetric. So here, for example, you can see that there's more space on the left than on the right. So the board is just shifted to the right a bit, and so are the holes at the back. So it really does make a difference which hole you use, because the binding will be closer to the rim on one side. As a general rule, most gymnasts use the side that is closer to the rim, so where the distance is smaller. And if you're not sure, just try and use the shorter side first. Then you can put on the bindings exactly in the same way as for straight line, and then also adjust the tightness similar to how you do it in straight line, but here the feet won't be turned all the way to the side, they'll just have to push against the rim. So here you can see everything is perfect, the bindings are tight, the feet are touching the rim, but they're not sticking out very far beyond the rim. This does sometimes happen if the gymnast has very big feet. They will notice that toes touch the floor with every spiral rotation, and they might even get rolled over. So if you see that the toes are sticking out very far beyond the rims, then the gymnast should use the other side, so the longer side of the board. So have fun with bindings. Do check out our videos on basic elements in straight line and in spiral, and we'll see you soon.